What is going on, Fit Fam? Welcome on back to my channel. My name is Megan Janice, the founder of Nomadic Fitness, and I teach you ladies how to eat way more food without any restrictions and work out smarter instead of harder so you can build that banging hourglass body and keep it year-round with ease while having such a balanced lifestyle. So if you're new here, make sure to hit that subscribe button, and if you are returning, thank you so much for coming on back to another video. So today I'm very excited because I'm actually going to share with you the story of my fitness transformation, my entire fitness journey, all the way from many years ago when I was getting a little bit overweight and I had never consistently worked out, knew nothing about fitness, and was just really unconfident in my body, all the way till now where I am so happy with my fitness routine. I love my fitness lifestyle so much. I'm the happiest I've ever been with my physique and continuing to focus on growing and building that sexy muscle this year. So I'm gonna just share with you how I got from there to here. Okay, so let me take you back to 2015. I was backpacking around South America, Colombia, Ecuador, Peru, Bolivia for half of the year. And this was the first time in my life I really started to notice that I was gaining more weight than usual. So just genetically, I always kind of naturally had a flat stomach. So this was the first time in my life I was starting to actually gain weight on my stomach. And you can see in these photos that I have, I was wearing this like little skirt with my pink bikini because I was so shy and so embarrassed about how big I thought my thighs were and how much cellulite I had. By the way, I still have cellulite now. I just have much less than I did then, and we can get into that in another video. Now, I know a lot of people are going to look at these photos and think, okay, you still looked good then even, or that they wish that they could look like that right now. And I just want to acknowledge that I'm not saying that I necessarily looked so bad or anything. However, for me, I could just definitely tell that my body was changing really quickly in a way that I didn't like. And it was a result of the fact that I was living a really unhealthy lifestyle. I wasn't exercising at all. I was eating literally whatever. And I was also drinking a ton, especially a ton of beer, which is why I think I gained more weight more quickly. So the thing is, I just felt so insecure in my body. I literally didn't want to look in the mirror. I just felt like I looked really big in clothes. And I honestly don't even have photos at my heaviest, which I'm guessing was, about 20-30 pounds heavier than I am now, because I was so insecure at that point. So I just kind of fell into a rut, and I really didn't know what to do because I had never done anything fitness wise, but I knew something needed to change. I was like, okay, I literally don't ever work out, so I should at least start doing that, and probably something is gonna change. So I had just moved back home to Canada. I was living the year in Toronto, shout out to my Canadian girls, and I was living with my sister, and she was doing Jillian Michaels workouts, just the videos at home. I just decided to join with her and started doing that a few days per week. So they were kind of like HIIT style workouts, and I was doing them maybe 3-4 days a week for like 20-30 minutes, and I did start to lose a lot of weight pretty quickly. I definitely got back to kind of my more natural frame, but the thing was, I didn't really have the toned body that I was looking for, because I really wanted to see some super smooth, sculpted, sexy legs. I really wanted defined abs. I really wanted toned arms, and I wasn't really seeing that doing just these HIIT workouts, even though it had helped me lose weight. So pretty much I spent the entire next year, so this is from like August 2015 all the way to about May 2016, just researching like crazy online, how to get fit, how to tone up, all of this good stuff. So I started doing some dumbbell workouts at home, bought myself just like some 5s, 10s, and 20s and doing them in my little Toronto apartment. But then eventually around kind of February of 2016, I realized, okay, there must be a reason why people go to an actual gym. It must be because that is where you really get that next level result. So I decided to actually join the Good Life Fitness in Canada, and I just felt very unsure about what to actually do. I really kind of fell prey to the whole, oh, if you just work out really long and really hard, then you'll get results. So I would go sometimes and spend 3 hours working out. I would just go randomly on the treadmill. I would do a whole bunch of ab circuits, and I kind of just bounce around with the dumbbells, pick up different things. I just really didn't know what to do, but I kind of thought, okay, just do something and you'll get somewhere. And again, at this point, I was still feeling a lot better than I had been when I was a little bit heavier, but I still didn't have that actual gorgeous hourglass feminine physique. So more and more months go by of me researching, and finally I came across the answer. I found a website from Mike Matthews, who's the founder of Muscle for Life Fitness, shout out to him, and I just started devouring all of the articles on his website, and it taught me everything that I really needed to know. And this was the initial starting point of my entire fitness education that has led me up to where I am now. So the main thing that he was talking about was that you needed to lift challenging weights and actually follow a structured strength training program and get strong at your major compound movements. So your squats, deadlifts, bench press, overhead overhead press and exercises like lunges and so on. And that you would implement progressive overload, meaning that you would consistently get stronger and stronger over time, always lifting a little bit more weight, doing a little bit more reps. So I actually bought his book called Thinner, Leaner, Stronger, which I highly recommend for women if you do want to get more educated about how to eat, how to work out, and all of the science behind it. So this book just like absolutely blew my mind. It taught me everything I needed to know. Honestly, it sounded too good to be true because he was talking about going and doing just 4 or 5 45 to 60-minute workouts per week, where you were only going to do 4 or 5, maybe max 6 exercises in the workout. I was used to going to the gym for 3 hours and doing like all kinds of crazy shit. So this seemed really kind of hard to believe that it could be that easy, but I was like, all right, here's the science, here's the transformation, so I'm just gonna go ahead and do it. And by the way, 3 years later, after reading his book, Thinner, Leaner, Stronger, and implementing all of that knowledge, Mike Matthews ended up reaching out to me and inviting me to be on his podcast to talk all about my fitness transformation, which just like was such a dream come true because I'm a huge fan of his, and I couldn't believe that the man who really inspired me to start my fitness journey correctly, I was now able to talk one-to-one with and share my whole story for his huge audience. So if you want to listen to that podcast and hear more about my journey, then check that out. I'm going to link it in the comments below. And so needless to say, going in the gym and actually going up to the squat rack, going up to the barbell was really, really intimidating. I think it maybe took me like 1 or 2 times of going in the gym and feeling so insecure and so shy, and I would end up just not even doing it. But eventually I was like, hey, just freaking do it. Like, this is what he's saying you gotta do to get the results, so just do it. And so I went over to the squat rack, got underneath the barbell, and honestly, it was not nearly as scary as I thought. Just doing a barbell squat without any weight is actually really not that hard. And it really only took me that first session, maybe 2 sessions, to actually just realize that it wasn't that scary. Nobody was laughing at me or judging me. I just needed to get over this big fear that I had in my head around it. And then it's so crazy because it went from being the thing that I was so freaking afraid of to absolutely falling in love with it. And it became such a huge passion for me. Going to the gym became the absolute highlight of my day. I was totally hooked. I looked forward to it so much. Just within a couple of weeks, I started to see really crazy changes happening in my body. And I'm telling you, I saw such better results in just a few weeks of properly weightlifting than I ever saw doing hours of ab circuits and treadmill stuff, all of that craziness. The main thing that I really started to notice was that my abs started to come in for the first time ever, and they were like really defined, really popping already. I started to get the toned arms for the first time in my life, where I actually saw that shoulder definition. So I was absolutely ecstatic. So now late 2016, I moved to Vietnam to become an English teacher there because I was really passionate about traveling as well, and I wanted a way that I could actually stay permanently traveling. So that's how I decided I was gonna make money overseas, because before that I had just been a backpacker. And so while living in Vietnam for 2016, 2017, I continued going to the gym 5, even 6 days a week. I think I was doing 6 days for a while because I enjoyed it just that much. Now, there is a catch to all of this. The problem was, yes, I was going to the gym, yes, I was lifting weights, and I did actually see still really big changes just from the strength training alone. However, I didn't do anything with my nutrition. And so in Thinner, Leaner, Stronger, I read all about tracking macros and how eating the right amount of protein, fats, and carbs was what you needed to do to really build a great physique. However, reading all of that, I was like, oh, that just sounds way too difficult, way too overwhelming. I don't want to do it. I'm just going to do the weightlifting, which was great for a little while. However, I did eventually realize that I was hitting a plateau and I wasn't really going to be able to especially see results on my lower body, because that is where I tend to store my fat. So I was definitely still having, a good bit of cellulite, not as much definition as I wanted. And I had another friend who was training in the gym there as well, and I saw how much her body was changing, and I was so impressed. And I asked her, what are you doing? And she said she was tracking her macros, and that's why she was getting such good results. So summer 2017, this was the very first time I got over it and was like, you know what? I'm just gonna start tracking macros. And of course, as soon as I got into it, I realized it wasn't nearly as hard as I thought it was. I think it just seems really intimidating, just as much as lifting weights does when you've never done it, just because it's something new. But you literally just gotta get started, and as it gets going, you'll realize it's really not as hard as you think. So that summer 2017, first time tracking macros, I saw that I got really cut really quickly, and I was so shocked just how powerful it was to combine the right nutrition with the right weightlifting. However, this was pretty short-lived, because then after that, I did a little trip around Europe, and then I moved back to Vietnam to be an English teacher again. So this is now going into 2018. So I continued being somewhat on my macros and then being really consistent strength training, of course. However, I was also drinking and partying a lot, definitely kind of eating a little bit of whatever I wanted. So I was still kind of so-so with my results. Now, by about summer 2018, I had recently turned 26 years old, and at this point, I was starting to get pretty burnt out with the drinking, partying lifestyle that I had been doing all of my early 20s. It was really starting to hit me more, and I was just feeling a bit over all of that lifestyle. I was also getting a little bit tired of living in the big cities of Asia, and I decided that I was going to be an English teacher online and live in a little bit more of a remote place. And it was when I decided to do this that I met other people who had online businesses, which the concept just completely blew my mind. So I was like, what do you mean you can just have a business online, make money doing something you actually like doing? So this is what inspired me to research all about how to make an online business, and that's when I discovered that you could make an online fitness coaching business. So I decided that that's what I was gonna do. So it was August 2018, I moved to Thailand and started my online fitness coaching business, like literally from nothing. Never thought I was gonna be an entrepreneur, never thought I would have a fitness business. And then here I was just deciding, okay, I'm freaking going for it. So simultaneously, since I was so fueled by the fact that, okay, I'm starting this business, this means I need to take my fitness really seriously. I'm tired of drinking, I'm tired of partying. You know what? I'm gonna stop drinking for a good while, and I'm gonna go 100% all in on my fitness the way that I've always wanted to, but never did because I let all these other things distract me. So I got completely committed to my macros, completely committed to lifting 5 days a week, really staying consistent. And needless to say, just within a couple of weeks and definitely after a few months of this, I got in crazy shape. So these photos are from January 2019, and as you can see, I was absolutely shredded. In fact, looking back on this now, I was a little bit too shredded. I actually don't necessarily like how cut I was, but I was nonetheless really proud of the fact that I was able to get to that point by being really dialed in with my macros and nutrition especially. However, after doing this for a couple of months, I did start to get a little bit burnt out by how strict I was being with my macros, because at this time, I thought if I was gonna have fitness results, that meant I literally had to hit my macros super perfectly every single day, measure, weigh, track every tiny little thing that I was going to eat and make it myself at home. And I literally was only going out to eat one time for my cheat meal once a week. And obviously it worked, it got crazy lean, but I started to get a little bit tired of being that strict. So over the next few months, I started to give myself more flexibility. I definitely kept up with my strength training, and I still was tracking macros, still cooking the vast majority of my food at home, but I gave myself a little bit more room to go out and eat and to maybe every now and then have a night out, have a few drinks after so many months of not drinking. And I was really pleasantly surprised that I still managed to maintain my physique. So I moved to Bali, I moved to Spain, and I was, you know, having some fun, but still staying consistently focused on weightlifting and macros for the most part, but definitely giving myself some flexibility. So then in early 2020, I moved to Mexico, which is where I still am 3 years later. So yeah, all through 2020, 2021, I was growing my fitness business, coaching more women all around the world, helping them achieve the same results, making more content, and staying really consistent overall. But one thing that I now have really realized looking back on that time is that I was still focused too much on trying to be cut and really always trying to be kind of chasing fat loss, as opposed to doing what you really should be doing, and I'm now aware of, which is you should be trying to eat more food so that you're gonna speed up your metabolism and gain more muscle and then be able to maintain those results more easily. And it's the gaining the more muscle that's gonna give your body more shape, more curves, more sexy definition, while still looking cut, but not looking too cut or too shredded. So it wasn't until summer 2022, so this past year, that this really dawned on me, and I got so much more educated on the topic, started working with my own fitness coach, and really took my results to the next level. Because before, I would kind of always eat somewhere between 1,600 to 2,000 calories a day. And in my opinion, I had thought that 2,000 calories a day was really a lot, and that was like a high amount of food. Now, I think that 2,000 calories a day is like pretty much on the low end. That's like the least amount of food that you should be eating if you are consistently lifting. The only time it should be less than that is if you are specifically doing a cut, or maybe if you're just a really small woman and you work out from home and you don't have that much equipment. There are some exceptions, but for the most part, 2,000 calories a day is definitely the minimum you should be eating if you are lifting consistently. So that is where I'm now at here in 2023. My goal is definitely to build and grow this year. I just started eating 2,200 calories because before that I was coming out of a cut at the end of Christmas, and I'm definitely gonna work my way up to 2,500 calories. Some days I even have been eating that much because I've just been hungrier because of how I'm training. My big goal is really to build shape, curve, definition, pop my glutes, get a big popping round bubble butt as much as I possibly can. Definitely build some quads on the front of my legs, a little more shoulders. And the crazy thing is, even though I'm eating so much more food now, I really am just as cut as I was before, except I have more shape and just kind of look more hourglassy and more feminine. So that is gonna be my whole journey this year, is really putting on that shape, putting on that sexy muscle from eating so much food. I'm gonna take you all along with me. And of course, if you want my personal one-to-one help of showing you how you can eat so much food, how to work out smarter instead of harder in the gym to build that sexy hourglass body and keep it for life while having so much flexibility, still going out to eat, still having your favorite foods, having some drinks with your friends, then make sure to apply for my one-to-one fitness coaching in the link below. I would love to help you out and be able to guide you to your best results ever. All right, Fit Fam, so that is my personal fitness transformation story. Thank you so much for listening to it. And I hope that you see now that, you know, my transformation didn't just happen overnight. It was so many years in the making. You are always learning, you are always growing. There was so much to know in this field. So I hope that this inspired you, and no matter where you are on your fitness journey, just know that so long as you focus on nourishing your body properly, getting lots of good quality protein, carbs, and fats, and getting strong, lifting those big girl weights, you are so much stronger than you think, and it is the most empowering thing you could possibly ever do. Not only because you're gonna look amazing and get to stay that way for life, but because it's just so good to feel strong. You're just gonna blow your mind. You have no idea that you were capable of so much. So thank you so much for checking out this video. Let me know what your biggest takeaway was in the comments, and if you have anything that you want me to create, I am here for you. I am here to help and guide you on your fitness journey. So any questions, comment them down below. All right, Fit Fam, that is it. Thank you so much, and I will see you in the next video.